up, my friends? How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you stopped by today because I hope wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, you were loving yourself and loving the ones you're with, because that's what it is about, guys. I hope you're thriving. I hope you're striving. Hope everything is going great in your neck of the woods. Today's, guys, we are talking about a movie from 1999. It is the third installment in what is one of the greatest vampire films of all time. This is From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter, directed by Pesce. Now, guys, so this is the third installment. There's a second one, and it's called From Dusk Till Dawn, Texas Blood Money, or something silly like that, right? Now, the second one I watched when it came out. I think the first one came out like 94, 95, something like that. Maybe 96. I'm not real sure. But the sequel came out, and I remember watching it. It wasn't one of those sequels that went right to the theater. Nothing like that. This went straight to DVD. Rented it from Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video, whatever local video store you had. You could rent it from there. And it had the guy who played T-1000, was Jason Patrick? Not Jason Patrick. Maybe that is his name. I can't remember. But it's got the guy who played in Terminators, the bad Terminator. He's in it. He's like a guy that takes care of, a bunch of criminals. They're robbing a bank. Bank winds up vampires. Something silly. It was awful. Absolutely terrible, right? Shouldn't have been a sequel. Should have never been made. No one should have ever signed a check and said, yes, let's make that movie as a sequel to From Dusk Till Dawn. This, on the other hand, Hangman's Daughter, From Dusk Till Dawn 3, this, I think, is a very worthy addition to the franchise. It's not a sequel in the sense that it is, it takes place after the original movie or the sequel. No, this is a sequel / prequel. This tells the story of how Salma Hayek's character, Satanico Pandemonium, or whatever her name is, how she becomes Pandemonium Satanico, or whatever. It's how she winds up going to the Titty Twister bar and becoming a vampire and then ruling the vampires. There's like this big backstory of her father slept with her mother who was a vampire, but he didn't die. She maimed him, and then he took the baby. It was the writing is not crisp. The writing is not good, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. But it has just enough coherency to where I can understand what was going on. And then we get the Old West vibe. We're watching, the guy, our main character is like a bandit. He's in love with the girl who turns into the head vampire lady. He is fixing to get executed by her father. He escapes. They chase him. They wind up in the bar. And it just, it ensues from there. But this has, where this kind of falters, in my opinion, is the writing isn't very good and the special effects. Now, there are practical special effects. There are those. But they use a lot of CGI, and, it's like 1999, so the CGI doesn't age well. It looks like something from PlayStation 1 cutscenes. And so we have a little bit of CGI with blood and bats and stuff like that. But for the most part, the characters all look very good with practical makeup and things like that. I will say this, the characters are not quite as charismatic or eclectic as From Dusk Till Dawn, where we had Sex Machine, and then we had the giant black dude, and all those people. We had different colorful characters. We don't really have that in this. Yes, there's a preacher and his wife. They're like missionaries, but he's also kind of a scumbag. Got a bounty hunter, gunslinger type guy. I mean, we have pretty generic characters, and none of them really get enough screen time to make any impression on you, aside from the main bandit guy. Now, the main bandit guy, he's all right. He acts pretty good. He's solid. But where the movie really shines is when all hell breaks loose, they finally, discover, oh, we're in here with a bunch of vampires, and they have to start killing vampires. The action isn't quite as good as the original, but That being said, this is a worthy prequel slash sequel. This is a very solid film, especially compared to the one that came directly before this one, where we're robbing a bank and it doesn't make any sense in context with From Dusk Till Dawn. At least this, we're in the titty twister, where it takes place like 100 or 150 years before our original film. Like it lays the groundwork for what comes next in the original film. And that I respect and I appreciate. And I'm glad someone had the forethought and the hindsight to say, you know what, the second movie was trash. Let's see if we can, bring it all back around. We can throw us a prequel out there. And that way people can watch the first one and be like, oh man, how did all these people, how did the vampires get there? What happened here? That kind of thing. Then they can watch the third one, skip the second one. They can watch the third one and have those questions answered. I think that is awesome in the scope of this franchise. But other than that, if you're watching this as like a standalone film and it was just like, oh, vampires and bandits, it's kind of mid. It's not great. You're not going to write home to your mama about it and tell her, that it deserves awards or anything like that. But you'll enjoy it. But as the third installment of From Dusk Till Dawn, I think it lands a pretty big, home run swing there. That's just me, guys. I hope you guys like it if you get a chance to watch it. It is not streaming anywhere. I looked. All you can do is rent or buy it digitally or rent or buy it on Blu-ray, but the digital price is probably the cheapest. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking about From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. As always, hit that like and subscribe button on the way out, and I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them, my friends. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.